Hey guys, it's your girl Imantheoriginal with this series of American Dreaming, the cluttered topic. So let's get into that. In previous episodes, we were talking about the relationship between wellness and clutter and depression and anxiety and how they all relate to each other. And I also was just trying to give you guys a brief background, or I gave you guys a brief background on how I've dealt with those things and are dealing with those things now in regards to my built environment and how I'm building myself up as a sustainable designer. So my goal and my vision is always to develop spaces, mixed-use spaces to live in, co-create in, and things like that promote mental wellness, physical wellness, and overall well-being for us, the people. I feel like a lot of times we focus on the planet. Oh, save the planet. And it's like, bro, the planet's been here way longer than we've been here. So the planet actually has divine intelligence on how to heal itself and how to, keep itself healed and whole. How about we start looking at ourselves? Because the reason why the planet is in the condition that it's in is because of the people. And when we think about the people, it's not just like, oh, let's start using plastic bags. Stop using plastic bags and start using paper bags. How about let's create systems that are sustainable for us, the individuals? Because the plastic bag thing is kind of like that saying, putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. That's not the problem. The problem is our mindset. The problem is the system. The problem is the algorithm, the programming by the quote unquote powers that be, or whatever the case may be. I really hate saying that powers that be phrase, because the only power that be to me is my divine guidance system, my God, the God that I serve, and that, in that aspect. So there's the powers that be, because we all have divinity and divine power. Now, have we been allowing our power to be usurped by this small minority group or people? Like, yeah, we have. Definitely our power as individuals, because they created a system in which we would be in a constant state of fear all the time, which means that you're in a state of loss of your identity, because we as divine beings, spiritual beings, having a human experience on this earth, we're created to operate in an energy of faith, an energy of belief, if you will, and not fear. Fear means that you're operating in insecurities. Fear means that you're doing things that actually create the problem that we see in the earth. And so just follow the bouncing ball with me, right? When you are operating in a spirit of fear, when you're operating in a spirit of insecurity, then that means that you're operating in a spirit of, then now you're creating the energy of now wanting to overconsume, now wanting to operate in addictive behaviors, because the real issue is consumption and overconsumption and overproduction and things like that. And they like to spread all these rumors and things of like, they pump us with fear constantly. Like, for example, famine. Oh, famine is like, if there's famine, how can there be famine when there's like the earth literally produces fruit and vegetables constantly. We have animals and stuff. How is there famine when there's what there is we have a waste problem. There's a lot of food waste and things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? There's not a problem when it comes to lack. There is no lack on this earth. The only lack that is created is the lack that is pumped in our mindsets. And so therefore we begin to operate in that in that space of, oh, there's not enough, again, that pumps that fear into us. So then we begin acting like savages, if you will. That word savages, it's interesting that that's the word that's constantly used for people who are, it's been used for like Native American people. They don't use the word savages for black people sometimes, or they use like nigger or thug and things like that. So anyway, but when I say savages, I'm not using it in the way in which melanated people were described as or anything like that. I'm more so pointing the finger back at the people who are creating the fear and using fear-based tactics to keep us in a state of control, us the people in a state of control. So the issue is not plastic bags. The issue is not plastic bags. The issue is us as individuals and us understanding that we live in a system that has not been created for us to become our best selves. It's a system that is created to keep us pushed down, and a system that is created to keep us held back from fully manifesting our divine being on this earth, because again, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So if people can control the way that you think, the way that you believe, that's what it's all about, controlling what you believe. So that's why they get on the TV and tell you all of these things and say all of these things through media. Then they use social media to control your thought process. Is based on an algorithm. And we have to understand as well that we are computers, like us. We're human beings. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. But how we are designed is like a computer as well. So it's like we have a belief system. So if we're constantly feeding our system, like for example, we can use like food, for example. If you're constantly feeding your system bad food, then you're gonna have bad health. So if you're constantly feeding your belief system fear, you're gonna stay in a state of fear. You're gonna stay in a state of, you're allowing people to constantly control you, constantly control your narrative, constantly control your thought process, constantly control who you are as an individual, and you'll never self-actualize. So that is not a sustainable system. So, we get on all these podiums and we say all this bullshit, and it's like, no, it's not the fucking plastic bags. It's us. It's our system. It's everything that's wrong with this algorithm that we've been programmed to believe, and how we're programmed to believe that we don't have any power. We're programmed to believe that our fate is just destined, and we're supposed to just take like eat shit and that's it. Like, just take this shit and this is your life and that's it, and there's nothing you can do about it, and this is the way it's always been, and this is the way it's always going to be. And it's like, no, the fuck it's not. I mean, unless we just believe it. I know that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for that shit. I'm not here for just being controlled by outward energies to tell me anything of that sort, because I know that I was created to operate in an energy of free will. And it doesn't matter how much outside energies attempt to control me, I still have the ability within myself to do as I will, as a free moral agent on this earth. So anyway, as a sustainable designer, it's very important that we just begin to think about the system in which we live in, because it's not about this whole casting away the plastic bags and save the planet. We must look within ourselves. We're always going outward in regard to what is the problem. And I've been in a really interesting season in my life where there's been a lot of outward energy. So it's just like, okay, if I have control over myself, I have free will, and I have the ability to do what it is that I want to do, how do I take control of me and take control of my free will within myself? So, that is, we have to design a system in this world for us as individuals, where we're able to sustain ourselves as free moral agents, where we're able to walk in that freedom that we've been given by our divine creator, where we're able to fully self-actualize who we are, where we're not being controlled by whomever, it is, whomever is trying to control you or control anything, that we're not being controlled. That's sustainability. So when we think about, how can we do this and can we do that? My first critique as a sustainable designer is to say, like, okay, what is it that is making us even operate in the way that we're operating? Why do we do the things that we do? Why do we move the way that we move? What is it that is attacking our belief system? What virus is operating within our belief system? What do we have to uproot within our belief system? Because if we believe that we don't have any power, then we're going to continue to be controlled by whomever. It doesn't matter. If we believe that we have no power, then we're going to continue to be controlled. We're going to continue to operate in a spirit of fear, in an energy of fear, and that creates what? Addictive behaviors, in an energy of fear, in an energy of thinking that we have lack, and thinking that we have lack, thinking that we don't have enough, when indeed that we do have enough. When we look at just the built environment that we live in. And I'm just thinking about one time when Hov was like, why they call a project? Because it's a project. And it's like, because it is a project. And it's like, it's always going to be like some gladiator style, like, let's, there's not enough, we have to fight to the death for things. And it's just like, that's not the issue. If we just begin to operate in our energy, in the algorithm of faith and belief of who we are, and we go within ourselves to believe and understand who we are as individuals, what exactly did we come here to do as an individual? What is your purpose? Tapping into that, then we can begin to operate in this realm of fearlessness, and we will not allow ourselves to be controlled by any power at all, to not be controlled by any narrative that goes against how we are, how we were programmed, when they say like factory setting. When we came here, we were not operating in this energy of fear. Like, think about when you were a kid, how big your imagination was, how you believed that anything was possible. And then after time, after experience, then you started to just become this other person. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we really have to tap into understanding what is cluttering our belief system and allowing us to operate in this way, and what created these problems in the first place when it comes to the planet and having to save the planet. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and stay tuned. Talk to you soon.